I'm over 60 now. And let me tell you, when you hit this age, you start thinking about things differently. You start wondering, is 80 the finish line? Or could I really make it to 100? And not just exist, but truly thrive. Have you ever looked at those folks in Japan, the ones who are still tending their gardens, still walking miles well into their late 90s? It's amazing, right? I mean, what is their secret? Is it some expensive clinic, some weird rare supplement we can't get here in the States? I've been down that road trying all the fancy diets and powders, and honestly, they just left me feeling frustrated. Maybe you can relate. I used to think reaching a century was all about genetics, but then I read something that truly changed my perspective. It was about a remarkable man, Doctor Shigeaki Hinohara, Japan's oldest practicing physician. Think about that. A doctor, still seeing patients, still teaching, still active, right up until the age of 105. And his secret wasn't a magic pill. It was something he did every single day. A routine so simple, so effortless, you're going to be shocked. He chose to avoid the complicated, rigid diets and just consistently enjoyed the same straightforward meals. Just before his passing, he shared his hidden truth about how to not just extend your years, but to add vibrant life to those years. And that's what I want to share with you. Now, this isn't a quick fix gimmick, folks. This is a deep dive into ancient wisdom backed by modern science. The average lifespan in the US is only about 76 years, and that's a sad statistic we can absolutely change. But the real key here is consistency. You can't just try this for a week and expect to wake up feeling 30 again. No way. You've got to be patient and you've got to be diligent. We're going to break down 5 core principles that this incredible doctor embraced. And if you stick around for the whole video, especially for the final 2 parts, you'll learn the simple daily rhythm that brought all his principles together. It's not even a food tip. Trust me, it's the most important part of the puzzle. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's revolutionize your energy, your digestion, and your mental clarity after 60. One last thing before we dive in. Always, always chat with your primary care physician or a registered dietitian before making significant changes to your daily routine. We all have unique health histories, and what worked for Dr. Hinohara is a fantastic guide, but your doctor's insight is invaluable. With that said, let's explore the very first and maybe the most challenging principle for us Americans. The first core principle, the one that hit me hardest, is all about the quantity of what we consume. In the West, we're taught to finish every bite on the plate, right? My folks always told me, clean your plate, son. There are starving kids. But in Okinawa, where Dr. Hinohara's principles overlap with some of the longest living people on earth, they follow the philosophy of hara hachi bu. Say that with me. Hara hachi bu. It simply means eat until you are 80% full. Only 80%. It's time to halt. Now, for a guy like me, raised on generous portions and the concept that fullness is the goal, this was a huge mindset shift. But the significance is profound. Eating just a little less drastically reduces excess calorie intake, cuts down on inflammation, and supports a healthy weight without the constant yo-yo dieting headache. The National Institute on Aging has published connections between moderate caloric restriction and enhanced longevity. I remember my neighbor Helen. She was 68 and always complained about that heavy afternoon fatigue, the food coma. She was a plate cleaner her whole life. I suggested she try this. She started taking a genuine breath between each bite, asking herself, am I truly hungry or am I just eating out of habit? 3 weeks later, she told me her digestion was effortless, her sleep was deeper, and she felt a genuine sense of joy returning to her meals. It's an exercise in mindfulness. Try it tonight. When you feel that slight hint of almost full, just put your fork down and walk away. That's the first step. Next up is the common error of overlooking one of the most powerful foods on the planet, beans and plant-based proteins. For years, I equated protein solely with a thick-cut steak, maybe some grilled chicken. I needed it for muscle, but the reality, especially in places like Okinawa, is that the majority of their protein comes from plants. Think soybeans, delicious tofu, savory miso, the incredibly nutritious natto, and fresh edamame. These aren't just traditional sides, they're the bedrock of the Japanese longevity diet. What's the benefit? Soy-based foods are packed with complete plant protein and unique compounds called isoflavones that help reduce inflammation and promote heart health. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has shown that consistent soy consumption is linked to lower LDL cholesterol and a reduced risk of cognitive decline. Dr. Hinohara himself ate tofu daily, convinced it kept his arteries clean and his digestion smooth well into his 90s. I have a friend, Frank. He's a retired executive, and for the longest time, he avoided soy completely, worried about all those hormone rumors. But after watching a documentary on centenarians, he decided to try it. Twice a week, he traded his red meat for a simple tofu scramble with ginger and bok choy. After about a month, he called me up, absolutely amazed. His blood pressure had dropped a few points, and his joint pain was much better. He even stopped needing that afternoon nap. Look, you don't have to go fully vegetarian, but just incorporating lentils, black beans, or tofu into 2 meals a week is an incredible step towards better health. It's about balance. Moving on, we come to one of Japan's best-kept anti-aging secrets, a soothing, warm, and utterly vital custom, the power of fermented foods. Overlooking these is a huge misstep for Westerners. Dr. Hinohara started every single day with a simple bowl of miso soup. For him, it was more than comfort food. It was a daily practice of renewal. Miso, natto, pickled vegetables, these are foundational components of the Okinawan diet because they are brimming with live probiotics that truly nourish your gut. I mean, think about it. In the US, we rely on probiotic pills, which can be hit or miss. But authentic fermented foods provide an undeniable synergy. When whole foods are blended with those living microbes, you achieve a benefit that a pill can rarely replicate. I know a retired librarian, Claire, 70 years old, who struggled for years with constant bloating and a heavy feeling after meals. She tried every fiber powder and enzyme pill on the shelf. Nothing worked. Then a friend gave her a small jar of authentic miso paste. She started drinking just one comforting cup of warm miso broth every morning. No other diet change. No more supplements. Within 2 weeks, the bloating, gone. Her energy was steady and smooth, and she suddenly had an appetite that felt truly balanced. The secret was the vibrant, dynamic bacteria in the miso, not some dry capsule. You can start this today. Just dissolve a spoonful of miso in warm water, or even grab a few slices of naturally fermented pickles, the kind found in the refrigerated section. It's not just gut health. It's about establishing internal balance as you age. And this brings us to what might be the most taboo food group in the West: carbohydrates. The fourth common mistake we make is avoiding carbs and passing on sweet potatoes. I can't tell you how many times I've heard someone say, "Cut your carbs to shed those pounds," or "Seniors should avoid starch." But let's be honest, not all carbohydrates are the same. In Okinawa, their purple sweet potato, called beni imo, accounts for over 60% of the daily caloric intake for their centenarians. I couldn't believe that statistic when I first read it. What sets them apart? These potatoes are loaded with anthocyanins, those powerful antioxidants that protect blood vessels and fight cellular aging. They've got fiber to stabilize blood sugar, and they're rich in vitamin C and potassium, which are crucial for heart health. Plus, they have a low glycemic index, meaning you won't get that dreaded sugar crash. Dr. Hinohara often preferred sweet potatoes to rice. He felt they were both a gentle comfort and a robust protection for his body. The National Institutes of Health has associated foods rich in anthocyanins with improved blood vessel function and a slower rate of cognitive decline in older adults. My buddy, Paul, 69, was pre-diabetic and feeling completely exasperated. He was avoiding all carbs, even the good ones, and his energy was plummeting. His cravings were intensifying because his body was starving for fuel. His dietitian finally suggested he try steamed Japanese sweet potatoes, just half a cup with lunch, plain, no butter, no oil. In just 14 days, his energy stayed high all afternoon, his cravings disappeared, and his blood sugar was more stable than it had been in months. Don't fear the carbs, folks, just choose them wisely, the way the Japanese do. The fifth principle, and the final food-based one, is the error of dismissing the power of sea vegetables. Now, I know what you're thinking: seaweed. Yuck. But stick with me. We in the West often overlook this simple daily food source, yet it's a staple in Japanese cuisine and a powerhouse of longevity. We call it seaweed, but they treat it like a premium vegetable. Dr. Hinohara often incorporated small amounts of wakame or kombu into his soups and side dishes. What is it about these plants that makes them so valuable? They are incredibly dense in essential minerals that are difficult to find in land-based foods, particularly iodine, which is vital for thyroid health and metabolism, and calcium. More importantly, they contain unique compounds like fucoidone, a complex carbohydrate that research, especially studies published in Asian medical journals, suggests has significant anti-inflammatory and even potential anti-cancer properties. Imagine having a vegetable that actively helps clean your system and strengthen your immune defense just by adding a sprinkle to your meal. My sister-in-law, Susan, is a huge health enthusiast, always reading those cutting-edge health magazines. She got hooked on the idea after reading a piece on the Okinawan diet. She started adding a small strip of dried kombu when she cooked her rice or beans. You can barely taste it, and it softens right up, but it gives the water this incredible nutrient infusion. She didn't notice a huge change overnight, but after a few months, she said her overall vitality felt elevated. She felt more resilient. It's not a dramatic fix, but it's that little bit of daily nutritional insurance that adds up over decades. Think of it as giving your body a little spa day from the inside. The key is to start small. A sprinkle of nori on your scrambled eggs, a little wakame in your miso soup, or even just using a high-quality seaweed salt substitute. It's an easy way to introduce a nutrient density that's just missing from the typical American diet. And remember, every little positive habit counts when you're building a foundation for a long, healthy life. Now, let's go a little deeper into the concept of hara hachi bu, because it's more than just about eating less. It's about mindful eating. This is the sixth principle, the rhythm of the meal. We eat fast, don't we? Standing up in the car, watching TV, barely chewing. It's a disaster for digestion. When you eat too quickly, your stomach doesn't have time to signal your brain that you're full. That's why you can inhale a huge plate of food and still feel hungry 10 minutes later. Dr. Hinohara emphasized savoring each bite and taking your time. I read a fascinating study from a university in New York that confirmed this. Participants who slowed down their eating consumed significantly fewer calories because the fullness signal had time to register. I put this into practice at Thanksgiving last year. I'm usually the guy back for seconds before the host has finished clearing the table. But this time, I set a little timer on my phone for 20 minutes and I made a conscious effort to put my fork down between every bite. I focused on the texture, the flavor, the spices, and you know what? It was the first Thanksgiving dinner I enjoyed without that heavy, sluggish feeling afterward. I didn't get that typical post-meal crash. I felt light, energized, and still participated in the family activities. That's the real goal, isn't it? To enjoy life now, not just to wait for the future. So if you're still with me, that tells me you are serious about this journey. That's fantastic. If you found any of these tips helpful so far, please take a moment to like this video. It helps us reach more people who are looking for real, sustainable health advice. And remember, we've got the most critical piece of advice coming up in the final section, the one about your mindset and daily rhythm, which Dr. Hinohara called even more important than the food. Let's dive back into the diet, specifically the error of using sugar as a comfort. That's principle number 7. We rely on sugary treats for a quick energy boost, don't we? A cookie here, a soda there, a heavily sweetened coffee in the afternoon. And while the Japanese certainly have desserts, their consumption of refined processed sugar is a fraction of ours. Instead of a processed sugar rush, they rely on things like mochi or natural sweetness from that incredible purple sweet potato. The problem with refined sugar, as countless studies from the Mayo Clinic to the American Heart Association confirm, is that it is pro-inflammatory. Inflammation is the root cause of so many age-related diseases, joint pain, cognitive decline, and cardiovascular issues. My cousin's wife, Maria, 62, was a complete soda addict, 4 or 5 cans a day. She always complained about aching knees and feeling foggy-headed by 3 p.m. Her doctor was gentle but firm, cut the refined sugar. It was tough, but she replaced 1 can a day with plain, sparkling water with a slice of lemon. When she needed that sweet comfort, she switched to a small bowl of fermented yogurt with a few berries. After 3 months, not only did she drop 10 pounds effortlessly, but her chronic knee pain subsided significantly, and that afternoon brain fog lifted. She got her clarity back. Dr. Hinohara certainly enjoyed life's little pleasures, but his pleasure didn't come from a constant hit of processed sugar. It came from the simplicity and purity of the foods he ate. So, if you're struggling with that sweet tooth, think about swapping a sugary snack for a naturally sweet Japanese sweet potato. It satisfies the craving without the catastrophic crash. It's about finding intelligent replacements. Moving on, let's talk about the simple, everyday beverage that the Japanese rely on: green tea, our eighth principle. This might not be new, but the consistency of its use is the key. It's not just a trendy drink for them, it's a daily ritual. Dr. Hinohara drank several small cups of high-quality green tea throughout his day. Why? Because green tea, especially the high-grade Japanese varieties like matcha, is a powerful source of catechins, most notably EGCG. The National Cancer Institute and various global health organizations have highlighted EGCG's incredible antioxidant properties. It actively fights cellular damage and oxidation, which are the main drivers of aging. Think of it this way. Every time you sip green tea, you are literally giving your cells a microscopic shield against the pollutants and stressors of modern life. I started substituting my second cup of coffee with a cup of gently brewed green tea. I was worried I'd miss the caffeine kick, but I didn't. The energy was gentler, more sustained, and I didn't get the jitters or the mid-morning crash. My focus felt sharper. Green tea is also known to promote a healthy metabolism, and frankly, a bit of that is welcome at our age. Don't overthink this one. Just make it a daily ritual. Start with a small cup after your plant-based breakfast. It's an effortless change with profound long-term benefits. The ninth principle, and one that is often discussed but rarely followed through on, is the importance of healthy fats from fish, particularly the omega-3s. The Japanese diet, unlike the typical Western diet, has a high intake of fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and tuna. This is crucial because these fish are loaded with EPA and DHA, the active forms of omega-3 fatty acids. These are not just good for your heart, as you often hear, they are essential for brain health. As we age, maintaining cognitive function is paramount, and omega-3s are literally the building blocks for healthy brain cells. Dr. Hinohara often ate a small portion of fish several times a week. The goal isn't to gorge on a massive fillet, it's about consistent, small intake. A fascinating study out of Harvard School of Public Health found that consistent, modest fish consumption was one of the strongest lifestyle predictors of longevity and reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. My friend Tom, 73, was struggling with his cholesterol, and his doctor suggested he replace his nightly burger with a small piece of baked salmon 2 nights a week. He found that not only did his cholesterol improve, but he started sleeping better, and he felt a noticeable improvement in his memory. If you're a vegetarian or simply don't like fish, this is where a high-quality, reputable omega-3 supplement can truly be an invaluable tool. The point is to make sure you are getting these essential brain-boosting fats every single day. And that brings us to the final 2 principles in this section, which bridge the gap between diet and lifestyle. The 10th is the concept of variety and color in your diet. This is not about restricting, but about expanding. Dr. Hinohara's simple meals were always rich in color, a mix of the various vegetables and fermented foods. Why color? Because color equals phytonutrients and antioxidants. Every pigment, the purple in the sweet potato, the dark green in the seaweed, the red in a tomato, represents a different set of protective compounds that work together to fight cellular damage. Think of your plate as a beautiful mosaic. Are you only eating beige and white foods, or are you getting greens, reds, purples, and yellows? The National Institutes of Health continually emphasizes that a diet rich in diverse fruits and vegetables provides the comprehensive support needed to combat inflammation and aging. This is where you can be creative. Try a new vegetable every week. Throw some brightly colored carrots into your miso soup, or top your tofu scramble with vibrant red bell peppers. It makes the meal more fun, more appetizing, and infinitely more nutritious. It's the joy of eating that Dr. Hinohara emphasized. Finally, before we transition to the most important principle of all, which isn't about food, let's consider principle 11, water. The simple act of consistent hydration. Dr. Hinohara often spoke about the importance of drinking small amounts of water throughout the day, not just when you feel thirsty. As we age, our body's thirst signal often becomes less sensitive, and chronic, low level dehydration is a massive contributor to fatigue, joint pain, and digestive issues. It makes everything in your body work harder. I used to start my day with a cup of coffee, then maybe a soda later, and that was it. Now I start with a large glass of filtered water before the coffee, and I keep a small glass of water by my side at all times, sipping consistently. It's an effortless habit that has made my digestion smoother and my energy much more even throughout the day. It helps the fiber from the sweet potatoes and beans do its job properly. It's the ultimate simple hack. Consistency is the magic word here. So those are the 10 simple dietary and hydration principles adapted from Dr. Hinohara's routine. But the real key to his 105 years wasn't what he ate, it was how he lived. We'll get into that in the final make. Most crucial part. We've talked about eating less, embracing plants, fermentation, intelligent carbs, and water. These are the tools. But the ultimate lesson from Japan's most seasoned physician isn't something you eat at all. It's a way of thinking. It's the most powerful force for longevity, even more impactful than your daily meals. It's not about the food in front of you, it's about how you navigate through life. Dr. Hinohara called it maintaining a flexible approach and a reason to live. He didn't track calories or obsess over macros. He lived to a delightful, uncomplicated rhythm. He started every morning with something easygoing, that comforting bowl of miso soup, a refreshing stroll, and the joy of reading. He avoided overeating not from a place of restriction, but from a deep respect for his body. He consistently chose the stairs over elevators, maintaining this habit well into his late 90s. This is crucial. He kept his curiosity alive, delivered engaging lectures, authored insightful books, and carried a constant smile. He once famously remarked, "To remain youthful, one must embrace fun." His ikigai, his reason for being, was his work and his commitment to the health of others. He always had a next lecture to give, a next patient to see, a next book to write. I think about my wife's mother, Marie. When she retired at 71, she was consumed by the pursuit of labels. Minimal carbs here, no sugar there. It kept her on edge, constantly pursuing the next rigid guideline. Then she read Dr. Hinohara's story. She initiated a profound internal transformation. She didn't abandon the healthy foods, but she changed her focus. She started her mornings with a 20-minute walk, not to burn calories, but to find a moment of peace. She savored her meals at a leisurely pace, embracing that hara-hachi-bu rhythm. She carved out time for an afternoon tea, a moment of calm reflection. She took up a new, simple hobby, planting herbs on her windowsill, eagerly observing their slow, patient growth. That rhythm transformed everything. Health isn't just physical, it includes emotional, mental, and rhythmic dimensions. Dr. Hinohara taught us that joy is medicine, that purpose is fuel. You need a reason to get out of bed that is bigger than just eating less or exercising more. That meaning is what keeps your mind sharp and your heart young. Don't just tally protein, embrace the serenity of tranquil mornings. Don't just focus on sugar reduction, boost the joy of laughter and connection. Transform your diet, yes, but more importantly, feed your soul. As you reflect on the meals and habits we've discussed, keep this holistic view in mind. If you're feeling uncertain about where to begin, keep it straightforward. Begin with joy. Begin your journey like the doctor who thrived until the age of 105, radiating happiness every step of the way. You don't need a flawless plan for a longer, more vibrant life. You just need to begin with small, consistent steps starting today. Let's quickly summarize those 5 core, powerful, lifestyle-altering principles you can start right now. Master the art of the pause. Stop eating when you feel about 80% satisfied. It boosts your digestion and promotes longevity. Embrace plant power. Incorporate additional plant-based proteins, tofu, lentils, and edamame, just 2 or 3 times a week. They are simple to prepare and incredibly gentle on the body. Find fermented gold. A spoonful of miso dissolved in warm water or a slice of tangy pickled vegetable offers beneficial bacteria that enhance your gut health and boost your immune system. Choose intelligent carbs. Select starchy foods with care, like Japanese sweet potatoes. They energize you without the crash and protect your blood vessels. Embrace your rhythm and purpose. Savor your nourishing meals and let your joy shine through. It goes beyond mere sustenance. It's all about the essence, the happiness you bring to your life. Every one of these changes nurtures your heart, sharpens your mind, enhances your digestion, and fosters your independence. The greatest advantage? You can take it step by step without overhauling everything all at once. Begin with a single step, one thoughtful bite, one new simple habit, one breath between each mouthful. Which one resonates with you today? We'd love to hear your first step in the comments below. Your decision could ignite inspiration in someone else watching. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Experience the rich flavor of miso. Steam a delicious sweet potato. And most importantly, don't forget to smile during your lunch break. Every small habit counts, and they truly make a difference. This journey is about infusing vitality into your years, not just extending the number of them. Who's on board with me? Leave a comment if you're embarking on your longevity journey today. Catch you in the next video where we'll talk about a surprisingly common health food that might actually be aging you faster than you realize. You won't want to miss it.